Consider this. You've just gotten home from work and look at the time as you crumble out of the sofa. It's 6:05 p.m. You tell yourself, just a quick scroll through TikTok before dinner, bargaining 5 minutes of time before putting your pasta on to boil. Scroll, scroll, scroll. Tap twice. Like. Scroll, scroll, scroll. You look around and notice it's dark outside. 7:45 p.m. Where did the time go? If this scenario seems familiar, you are not alone. In fact, 6.4% of TikTok's at least 1 billion monthly global users, or 64 million people, or nearly the same population size as the UK, are classified as at risk of developing an addiction to the app. But when does a casual evening scroll become an overflowing TikTok addiction? What, more importantly, can you do if you believe you have one? The expert compares the TikTok experience to that of a slot machine at a casino, noting that as you scroll, your eyes will catch certain things it loves and other things it doesn't, which feeds you to want to keep going. In psychology, this is known as random reinforcement. It indicates that you sometimes win and sometimes lose, and that is precisely how these platforms are created. They resemble slot machines. And we do know that slot machines are addicting. We all know there's a gambling issue, right? But we don't typically talk about how our devices, platforms, and applications have these same addictive properties built in. This sounds terrible, but it proactively brings up reminders in the feed to take breaks from our app, limit push notifications in the evening for younger users, and the screen time management setting helps everyone manage their ideal screen time by setting a time limit to choose. If you're concerned over your TikTok use, you may restrict the amount of time you spend scrolling by putting a time limit on the app through your phone's settings or uninstalling the program entirely. If you want a longer respite, delete. It is also advised to designate no-go zones in your home for your phone. Everyone thinks of bedrooms when they think of this place, but bathrooms should be your first focus if you want to stop scrolling down the toilet. Does this video interest you? Give it a like. If you decide to take a break from TikTok, you should do something to keep yourself busy so you don't get forced back in. Finding something to do with both hands is an excellent strategy to prevent taking up your phone and scrolling endlessly. Evenings may be renewed with puzzles, crafts, or baking. Do you think TikTok knows too much about you? Then you're not alone. 1 in 3 who use TikTok say they are concerned about the amount of information the app has about them. It is remarkable that among people who have been on TikTok for some time, even a large half are afraid that TikTok knows too much about them. That is remarkable because those people have been using TikTok all these years. At the same time, it makes sense that the longer you use a particular app, the more the app learns about you. Despite those privacy concerns, people continue to use the popular video platform, it turns out. As for what makes TikTok so addictive, there are numbers of reasons why we find ourselves continually being sucked into endless evenings of scrolling. When you're scrolling, sometimes you see a photo or something that's delightful, and it catches your attention. Dr. Julie Albright, a sociologist specializing in digital culture, explained as the host of a YouTube series, Tech First, and you get that little dopamine hit in the brain, in the pleasure center of the brain. You want to keep scrolling. Although there isn't a specific quiz to identify if you're addicted to TikTok, a new scientific study showed that there are warning flags to watch out for if you believe you have grown dependent on the social media platform. The study was published in the Addictive Behaviors Journal. Before we get into shocking news about TikTok, first this. The most telling indications of addiction are when a user reacts negatively to being denied access to a social networking site by seeming uncomfortable, irritated, anxious, or sad. The study discovered a link between gender, previous mental health concerns, and the risk of acquiring a TikTok addiction. Female TikTok users were also more likely to be at risk compared to male users. And those who were classified as at risk of addiction tended to score higher on loneliness and extroversion levels. The results also demonstrated that users of social media might become dependent on one network but not another. Want to know more about the dangers of Twitch? Then click on the next video.